Welcome to Sunset Crater. This is one of the many 500 to 600 cinder cones in the 2,000 square mile radius. However, it is one of the youngest in this string. The history of the formation is quite intense. As always, there are two sides to every story. In this case, it's geological and cultural. Geologic history begins sometime around 1064 to 1065 AD. Eruptions reached surface through a 6.2-mile long channel that tapped a basalt source in the upper mantle. Decades later, the black scoria tephra blanketed the region, which was the initial construction of the crater itself. Likewise, the Kana'ā flow begins at the east flank of the Sunset Crater collapses onto the flow. Then around 1100 AD would be the probable time of the 512 flow and the Jib crater eruptions. Subsequently, construction of Sunset Crater cinder cone renewed and deposition of agglutinated layers began. Just as the tephra deposition on top of the Kana'ā flow and vent 512 flow. Ensuing this in 1180 AD, the Bonito lava flow begins. Scoria is deposited on flow units coincident with Bonito flow. Scoria deposited on flow units coincided with Bonito flow, as well as the west flank of Sunset Crater cinder cone. It wraps away the agglutinated layers, and next means that the construction of the crater is renewed and deposition occurs again. First of unconsolidated black scoria layers, then tephra is deposited on top. The Kana'ā and Bonito flows are covered by these depositions. Next would be the deposition of the red scoria on Sunset Crater cinder cone, the summit of course. The cementation of the crater is rimmed by scoria and vapor phase minerals. After all this deposition, Bonito and Kana'ā flows are extruded. The eruption of the black lapilli and bombs result in minor collapse of the east rim of the crater and formation of a small crater on the east side of the summit. Now after hearing the geology part, you must be excited to hear what the surrounding native people have to say about the cause formation. The Hopi story about the Sunset Crater erupting is a compelling and entertaining one. The story goes that this beautiful, alluring young girl is at the age to be married. The young girl packed her things and hopes to journey with the handsome man back to his family to meet and return in time to be married. While on this travel, the young man explains to the girl that he is a Kachina and the journey to his people would be too long to walk to ever make it there on time. During her time on this detour, an old spider woman calls out to her and reveals to her that the suitor's family is planning to test her abilities, but proclaims that the spider will help her through all of the challenges. Upon their arrival, the family greets the soon-to-be couple and showers them with a feast, for this is the only time the girl will relax before her wedding. The following day, the family puts the girl to test to see if she is the right one to marry Kana's Kachina. Just as the spider prophesied, these tests had challenged her, but she kept her promise and helped her through all of it. Being successful, the couple went back to Mishkanvi village, where the girl had been raised, to be married. The elders tell Kanas to gather sticks and brush and put it into a shallow hole on top of the mountain that will start a fire that will scare the village below. This plan would have worked if Kanas had not mistakenly dug the hole deeper. The elders had instructed him a shallow hole, yet it was too deep. The fire then burned downward until it reached the people who tend to the fire underground. These two fires collided, which caused the mountain to explode, and the oozing embers headed straight toward Mishkanvi. This not being the intention of his revenge, Kanas then summoned the wind to drive back the flames. This catastrophe did not reach the village, and the people acknowledged this and were consoled. Through this all, Kanas made sure that his wife and her family didn't suffer from his punishment to Mishkanvi. Him, along with other Kachinas, brought gifts of food and of blessing to the much-needed rain for the crops to grow once again. The Hopis, thankful for commendation, carried on their existence as they had once before the punishment. Now that you've heard the cultural and geologic history, go on the tour and see for yourself.